All right, good morning, everybody. Yeah. There will be certain rules put in play today.
Oh, yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's on view.
Yeah.
Okay.
When-
You rated our
Yes.
shit today.
When this is raised. All right, this signals the no question part, basically from the Katzenstein row. So when we get there, I will place it up.
Other rows are not asked.
Other rows can learn. Other rows can learn. All right.
What about your friend Stevens?
I might have to throw. Yeah, I will see. I might have to. I might have. Yeah, and I might have to put. We'll see where Eddie falls in. All right. So we left off 5 lines at the top at Ayin. Today's daf Ayin Amud Aleph. So Omar Shmuel. Says Shmuel Hayman. The Machile Balunche the Parsai. Person has Ayin Eileen. Right, person has a Persian spear.
It was
Right.
Darley.
A darling, that's right. Yeah,
Darling.
you had it wrong, right? A Persian spear in him. Right, he's not going to survive. But at Haki, Nisbale, Bisha, Shmena, Vaimre, the Chamnochai. Right, actually, the reason why this is brought in is because it's the same thing we saw earlier. He might not survive, but at least to buy him a little time, give him some fatty meat, right? That roast on coals, and give him some wine. And after the Chai Porta, yes. After the Chai Porta, he'd be able to survive a little bit, and this way he'll be able to sort of give commands as to what to do with his estate. How could I base it? For his house. And Amaravi Dibaravi in Heidman the Bola Zibure, a person who swallows a bee, a hornet, he won't survive at Haki, but however, he can survive a little bit. Nashke Riyasa the Chala, let him go ahead and drink a revis of vinegar, right? The Chala Shemazin, right? I guess, and also so let him go ahead and I guess it's very strong vinegar, and after the Chaypurta he'll be able to survive a little bit in order for him to go ahead and give some instructions for his house. And Avan Shimon Levi Achal Basar Shor Belefis. Person who goes ahead and eats meat from a shore, from an ox, Belefis with turnips, Velan Belavana, and then he goes and sleeps under the moon. Beleli Arba Asar Chamisha Sar was Tammuz and sleeps under the moon outside on the 14th or 15th of during Tammuz, right during the summer. Chozato Achilu. Right, he'll be gripped with achilu. Achilu is a disease, we'll soon see. And Tana, similarly, a malik krisa b'chol a person who goes ahead and overeats on anything. Also, chazato achilu, he will go ahead and also have this disease of achilu. Even from dates. So, says pshita, he overeats in anything. So good. I mean, tamei mashbin, mashachnin. Right, you might think that dates, right? They're very healthy, right? They satiate one, and they allow him to go to the bathroom. It warms them up, and they don't go. And then also, a person has ashrin, right? He's able to move around. There's a lot of energy, right? They're very good, right? It gives him kayach, gives him strength. Yeah, and therefore, maybe it won't go ahead, and if he overeats from dates, it won't be a bad thing. So, that still is a bad thing. So, my achilu, Amar Rabbi Elazar, Eish Shel Atzamos, right? Is fire in the bones, my Shel Atzamos, and Rabbi Eish Garmi. So, also, right, once again, this is fire on the bones. I don't know if it's like arthritis or something like that. That's considered the same thing. Rheumatitis could be. Okay.
Maybe.
So my says, okay, so what could you do for it? Right. Once again, Abai is quoting his aim, his mother, right? And we said it earlier, might be referred to the one who raised him. Kulu Shakniyat Talas of Shiva Teresar. All the others we mentioned, the different concoctions you have for 3 days, or for 7 days, or tracer, or even 12 days. Over here, for this bone fire, right, you should go ahead and drink the concoction, which we'll tell you in a second, until he gets better. So the other ones you have go ahead and eat on an empty stomach. However, but this one is only after one eats, drinks, goes to the bathroom, comes out and washes his hands. Then he goes ahead and takes the concoction. The goes ahead and he takes a handful of lentils, lentil meal porridge. And he goes ahead and takes some old wine, aged wine. He goes ahead and kneads them together, mixes them together, and then he eats it. And he goes ahead and he wraps himself, warms himself up, wraps himself in blankets, right? And then he goes to sleep. The person should not go ahead and wake him up, let him wake up on his own. When he wakes up, you should go ahead and throw the blankets off, right? If he doesn't go ahead and throw the blankets off, then he might go ahead and continue to have this bone fight. And Omerle Elio, the Reb Nosson says Elio to Nosson, Achol Shlish, V'sasha Shlish, V'anach Shlish. Person should go ahead and eat, right, a third of his, his stomach, and drink a third, and then leave the other third. Why? Because a person normally, if he is angry on a full stomach, that could be damaging. So therefore, leave a little bit over, so just in case he gets angry, then it won't be damaging.
Like relief valve.
A relief valve. And Tani.
So he's gonna get an ulcer.
Tani Reb Chia Hareitza Shel Yabol Lidei Cholim. Person does not want to go.
All of a sudden, you introduce Eliyahu.
Because it was a related matter. We just it was in terms of eating.
Before you get sick, you eat too much.
Right. That's about overeating. This is about leaving something, leaving yourself a third empty. So a person doesn't want to get an intestinal disease. Right? He should go ahead and dip his bread during the kite, during the summer, during the winter. So the right, the person will I guess will have what's it called? He will have hana from it. Right? He should also go ahead and he should also go ahead and not overeat and have some eat moderation, and also do not delay when you have to go to the bathroom. And Amar Marukva, Haiman, Deshasi, Tilya, Chibera, Ochasto, Vitek. So a person who goes ahead and he drinks this Tilya, right? This Tilya Chibera, this white Tilya type of wine, very cheap wine. I don't know whether the cheapest wine in the market is. Then he will get Vitek, whatever it is, and boxed wine, whatever it is. And there are 60 types of wines. The best one is Sumko Rechtana, right? The red Rechtana, the red one with the strong aroma, and Gruya, and the worst one, the Kulu Tilya Chibara. So Amar Rav Huda, so says Rav Yehuda, Hi man, the Yosef Zeparni Nisan, right? Person who goes ahead and he sits by a fire during Nisan, Gabinura, V'shayif Mishcha v'nafik v'yasif v'shimsha, and then he goes ahead and puts oil on himself, then he goes down to the sun. Once again, he will suffer from this vitek, which is like a weakness. Mayor? So we turn the page. All right. Turn it about Heiki's done the Shimesh Mitaso, person is bloodlines, and then it has relations. He will have kids that are weakened kids. Hiki Shneim, the Shipshu, if both him and his wife go ahead and they bloodlet, and then they have relations immediately after having Lahem Banim Bali Rasa. Then we'll have Bali Rasa even more weak than that which than just him. Now, a papa lamar now the like tamidi. It's only if they didn't taste anything. Tamidi less lava. But if they do go ahead and eat anything, after they blow that before relations, then there is nothing, no chashash. Right, we're not concerned with that.
So long as they.
So Amar Rabbi Huna Ba Min Haderech V'Shimish Mitas. A person comes from the travel, long voyage, and then he immediately has his Mishamish Mitasa, has relations. Havina Ba Havina Loi Banim Avivkim. Then we'll go ahead and have once again weekend children. And Tanra Banan Habami Besakise, when it comes to the baths, I Shemish Mitasa, should not go have relations immediately after. Ad Sheyisha Ashir Chatzi Mil, until he wastes the amount of time it takes one to go ahead and walk a half a mil. So let's say it's 18 minutes or whatever it is. Walk a mil is so that would be 9 minutes if that's a mil. So whatever. Why? Because the shade, the demon from the whatever it is, the shade from the basic kisei is accompanying him from there. And he does right? Then you will have children that are nichvin, right? So over here, the art school teaches us is epileptic, right? Rashi just says neiflim yaisachayli, right? So I guess they will have from that. So Tan Rabbana Hamashamish Mitasam Umad Aksa Avius. A person goes and the Shamas has relations standing, then he has Avius, right? Yushav, if he's sitting. Chasto Delaria, right? Then he also gets stricken with Delaria. We'll soon see what that is. And he Milamala, she is on top. Who Milamata, and he is on bottom. Delaria. Once again, he will suffer from Delaria. Samai Delaria. Sam Rabbi Shuman Levi. Sam Delaria Dardara. Right. Well, the what to cure Delaria is Dardara. So my Dardara, what is Dardara? Samar Abaye, Marika de Chaychi, right? That is saffron grown out by in the fields, out by the thorns. And Rav Papa Ali Sabella, he used to go ahead and I guess chew the saffron and then spit it out. They would swallow it. Rav Papa then he would go ahead and spit it out.
Are there any definitions for what these?
Well, there's Rashi's, right? The Rashi gives some word, but a lot of them is the old French, right? They're same refusha Delaria Drada Shemei, right? Fine. So Amar Abaye, Mishainu Baki B'derech Eretz, a person who's not Baki, he has not really fulfilled the mitzvah of Puravu. So what does he do? Gimel Kavisi, he should go ahead and bring 3 Kapisi Kurtame de Chaychi. Bring 3 kfitzas, which is basically 3 revius or 9 revisim of this saffron, right? The kvitza, right? 3 of them saffron. That from a field, a fertilized field, Venidukinu, and go ahead and mix them up. The shkita b'chama, go ahead and drink it, put it in some wine, and then go ahead and drink it. And Amar Rabbi Yechanan, and says Rabbi Yechanan, hein zorni l'nurasi, right? That was my secret potion. I used to go ahead and have this, and this is right. He brought him back to his youth, right? There was the herbal Viagra.
He's expounded.
3 things cause weakness to a person's strength. These are pachad. Derech the avon, right? Fear, travel, and avon, and sin. So pachad of libis secharkar uzvani kaichi. So it says over there from his fear, right, that his strength left him. And derech the ksiv ana b'derech kaichi, right, that he was weakened from the travel with his strength. And avon the ksiv, everybody says kashal ba'avoini kaichi, says because of his sins, therefore he lost his strength. And shleishad dvarim matis in guva sh'adam, and there are 3 things that break up a person's body down. Veiluhein acham umad, v'shasam umad, v'shimish mitasam umad. One goes ahead and drinks standing, eats standing, drinks standing, and has relations standing. Chamisha krayvin lemisa yasim and 5 things brings death close to a person. Veiluhein achal v'yamad, person eats, and then he goes ahead and immediately stands up, or shasa v'yamad, and he drinks and immediately stands up. Heikis dam v'yamad, he is bloodlets, and then he immediately stands up. Yashan, he sleeps, v'amad, and immediately is woke up. gets up right away, and Shemish B'Tasav Yaman also person has relations and then stands up right away. And Shisha Oisa Miyad Mace. And if you do these 6 things, you will die miyad immediately. Ve'elohein haba b'derech v'nizgaya. So since he has to also be done together. One who comes from the road and is tired, he's dumb. B'nichas beis hamerchatz, he bloodlets, and then he goes to the beis hamerchatz. He goes to the shvitz. The shasa v'nishtaker, then he goes ahead and he drinks, gets drunk. V'yashin al gabi karkin, sleeps on the ground. The shimesh v'taso, and then has relations. Then that person will bring a person miyad mace. Rabbi Yechanan, who shasa kasidron, has to be done in order. And Rabbi kasidron mace, but shalish kasidron chalish. So if he does kasidron, then he will die. But if it's shalish kasidron, if he doesn't do it in order, then he will be weakened. When says 80, person will die from you need all 6. Meuras, all right, the Meuras, she that was her name. Right? She only 3 of them. She made her Eved do, and he died. So you see, you don't need all 6. It's only 3 of them. So the Gemara says no. He was, he was already weak to begin with. That's why even 3 of them killed him. And Shemaina, Reuben, Kasha, Miyot, and Yafa. And there are 8 things that too much of it is bad for you. However, a moderate amount is good. Ve'eluhein derech, right? Travel, derech eretz. Relations, right? Oisa, Oisher, wealth, malacha, work, yayin, wine, vashina, and sleep, chamin, and warm water, I guess soaking, right? Vakasas dam, and bloodletting. And shmona mimatim henas zera, and there are 8 things that decrease one's zera, right? One's ability to have children. Beluhein, hamelach, salt, ba'arav, and also famine, nezak, and nezak is tsaras, as Rashi says, and bechia, and crying, the shina gabi karka, and sleeping on the ground, the gadgonias, right? The gadgonias is, I think, is that coriander or gogas kshus, right? I think it's coriander, right? Yeah, the kshus shalom bismana and hops not in its time. We'll soon see when the time is. But causes dam lamata. And one who goes ahead and bloodlets lamata. Below, we'll soon define what below is. Right, so over there, if he does that, then that is really bad. That's double bad. So Tanik Shem Shekasha lamata, just like it's double bad confined to bloodlet lower down. So if one does, in the upper area, then it's, you'll see the benefits double. And Amar Papa, and it says Papa. What is lamata? Lamata mina beitzim, right? That is below one's waist, and lamala above means lamala mina beitzim. That means basically from above his waist. So above his waist is very good area to go ahead and blow that. However, below the waist is no good. And eating hops, which is not good for you, not in this time. So tanik shem shekasha shalom bismana, just like it's bad shalom bismana kach yafa bismana, so too it's very good during its season. And when is it season? Summer. Papa Zmana Tammuz, right? The Zman perhaps is in the Tammuz of summer. Shalom Zmana Teves is in the winter. In Yamanisam, Yamatishrei, and during the spring and during the fall, it's not necessarily good, but it's not necessarily bad. Fine. That was all going back from the Mishnah. Now, as you recall, we got in this entire conversation because we're talking about this person who basically he was taken over by the shade after he was intoxicated. So he said, while he's in this intoxication, he says, "Write my wife forget." We don't listen. Now, next case, he was okay. He said, "Write my wife forget." He drinks. He's overcome by this shade, and while he's overcome by the shade, he says, "Don't give the get." Oh, listen. Do that. Hey. So now.
So many questions. You can't go back now.
You could just ask it on the chat. All right, so right, so in this case now, so a person, so he's overcome the shade. He says, "Don't give the get." So our Mishnah said, should we read for the Mishnah? So the Mishnah says his words are nothing. So remember, he said, "Write a get." Then afterwards, he's overcome by the shade. He says, "Don't write it." His words are nothing. Now let's see. So Amar Kisvik Elisha Kardaikus V'Chazav V'Amar Al Tichtavu, and he says during that state, he said, "Don't write it." Ein V'Ram Hachronim Klum. It means nothing. So Amar Rabbi Shimon Lakish Kaisvin V'Naisnin Get Lialter. You can go ahead and give the get immediately, even while he's overcome with the shade. Why? Because his commands were before he was overcome by the shade. He can't go ahead and give it until he gets better. Okay, my time. What's the reason? My time. The Reish Lakish. Because his words after are nothing. So go ahead and give it. He can't go ahead and retract in the state. So therefore, he told you when he was healthy, go ahead and give it. You can go ahead and give it. And Rabbi Yechon say, right? It means not his words after means nothing. Right? In other words, it means that when he gets better, he doesn't have to go ahead and retract his retraction. He can just go ahead and give it. Just wait till he gets better. But you can't go ahead and give it until he gets better. So what's the machlokes between Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yechon? Reish Lakish b'dam leili yashan. Reish Lakish compares it to a person sleeping. Okay, now if a husband gives a shaliach a get, go ahead and give my wife a get. Okay, and the guy delivers it at 1 a.m. So the husband happened to be sleeping, right? The shaliach bumped into the woman at 1 a.m. and he gave her the get. He's allowed to go ahead and get it. We don't care if the husband is sleeping, right? He's allowed to be in the sleeping state. So over here, this condition that he's in when he's overcome by the shade is like he's sleeping, right? He's like he's sleeping, so therefore you can go ahead and give it. Rabbi Yechon compares it to a shaita, a person who does not have the capacity. A person is a shaita, he can't go ahead and divorce his wife, and therefore we have to wait until he gets out of the state of being a shaita. You can't give it. You can't give, according to Rabbi Yechon, while he's what? Sleeping?
While he's sleeping.
You can give while he's sleeping. You can't give while he's crazy. There's a big difference. Because Rabbi Yechon, why don't you compare it to sleeping? And Rabbi Yechon, of course, agrees that you don't have to have the husband can be sleeping when the get is being given. So he says, no, sleeping, the way to get out of the sleep is just to wake up. There's no maisa that's done. But we said there's a maisa to get out of the state, right? We said go ahead and eat the meat with the wine. That will get you out of the stage. So since that is a maisa, so therefore that maisa, therefore it's different than sleeping. So why is Reish Lakish compared to a shaita? So shaita the cure for a person who became deranged is now within our capacity. So therefore, it's not comparable, right? But this person is. So therefore, since the person is, over here can be cured, right? Just like waking up can be cured. So it's over here. It's no big deal. As how do you cure it? Bisha sumka market. Go ahead and have some lean meat and on coals, and then go ahead and have it with wine that's diluted. The Rabbi Yechon says, so a person, his throat was slit, right? Both his tubes, right? Esophagus and his what's it called? And his trachea, right? Or a majority of both of them. The Rabbas, and while he's dying, basically, you can go ahead and give it. But you go based on those commands, you can go ahead and give it. No, if you give it during that period of time, you can go ahead and give the get, right? And I Tanya, and we also learn in the Brisa, the person's basically hanging on the gallows and he's about to die. Right? They can go ahead and give it. So why does Rabbi Yechanan go ahead in our case say you can't give it in this condition? He has to improve. Why over there, when the person has his throat slit or he's being hanged on the gallows, right? We don't have to wait till he's in a better stage. What's the comparison? Over there, he knows what's going on. He has full capacity of what's going on. He just physically can't. He's dying. So therefore, he can go ahead and think and give a command. Over here, right, he's lost his mind. And therefore, he has no. We have to wait till he's out of that stage. And did Shmuel indeed say this? And Shmuel was one he brought before. It was named the case of Shmuel. That person says, "Right, this guy, we can go ahead and put it." Shmuel shaka b'shnaim rav shnaim ubarach meidin alav. You can go ahead and you testify that he's dead, right? So you see a person who's basically his throat was slit. You can testify that he's dead.
Wait,
Who
it says Uvarah. Where did he run to? The person.
he doesn't see him, right? He knows, right?
Oh, in other words, the person who watched
right
saw the guy with his simanim slit,
right,
and then that guy.
Okay, yeah,
saw,
right.
away.
Yes, he didn't want to have the same result as him,
Okay.
or he didn't want to get us, killed too. So that's a chayhu. Over here, if we're saying, like I point out, right, you have to give it before the guy dies, right? So if you're saying, how can you testify that the person is dead? If we see that a person whose throat was slit is able to go ahead and give a command, so you give a command, he's alive. So if he's alive, then you give a get. So why over here do you testify he's dead? So the answer is no. It means that yes, he was dying and he was going to go ahead. He was alive, but he was going to die from that. So no, it may not be that he's dead right, that moment, but he was going to die soon enough. So if that's the case, a person's throat is slit, then a person who goes ahead and kills him b'shegeg, he should be required to go to Galus. Allah Matanya, why do we learn in the Brisa? A person accidentally slit someone else's throat through shkiga, through shogeg. He does not get galus. He does not get galus. I understand. So if the person is going to die, right? So why should one not be chayiv? So that's right. We're worried that perhaps that the wind, really, he wouldn't have died from his wounds. Just the wind caused more damage, and therefore he died. Or him moving around, writhing in pain, right, caused himself to die. So therefore, the person who killed or hit him b'shogeg or slashed his throat b'shogeg, right? So he didn't really kill him. If the guy didn't move, he would have been okay. So therefore, that's the reason why Zachayv goes. So my Benayu, what's the difference between the two terutzim? So Benayu, the shachte, the beis, the shisha, upircham. Either he's in a marble room or some room with no wind, and therefore, according to one of the wind, he definitely died from the wound. And according to one who was moving around, this person was moving around that room, and therefore he would be potter. Or the shachle or he was outside, the wind affected him. So maybe the wind caused him to die, and not the person who hit him the shogeg. But he did not move at all, and therefore you cannot say he caused his own death. And therefore, according to the other opinion, he would be chayiv. Next case in the Mishnah. Person became a mute. So we say we got mute. He signals, give my wife a get. We ask him a couple of yes or no questions. He gives 3 yeses, gives 3 no's. All right, his mouth is signed. He just can't talk, and we're good to give the get. Perhaps he has some sort of shakes that he has now that's causing him to nod his head or to move his head, yes or no. Inami or maybe his head moves up and down like he's saying yes, yes. We ask in every other one a yes question, a no question, right? Who's the president? Is this person the president? Is this that, right? Did Trump win the election? If he says yes, if he says no, right? So it depends on the whole thing, right? So you ask him all these questions, and therefore we know it's good. Every other one. So Rav Yosef ben Yehuda, Rav Nachman. Maybe he also has the shakes, and the way he shakes is first he goes, yes, like up and down, and then he goes side to side. So maybe just coincidentally, you asked him that right order, he answered the right. So okay, so we mix it up. We do one no question, 2 yes questions, 2 no questions, 1 yes question. Therefore, if he goes 6 for 6, then we know we can go ahead and give it again. And the Beirish then we ask him questions about summer and winter if he knows the difference, and therefore those are the types of questions. So Gemara says, mind you, what type of question is it? If we're saying that maybe in the winter it's like a heavy coat, and the summer he wants he wants linen, something very light. So Dilma Kare Achne, Inami Chama Achne. Perhaps the person had the chills, right? He was cold in the summer and he wanted a coat. Or perhaps the person was in the winter and had a fever. He was too hot. So you can't say that. So our answer is no, El Bapiri. We're talking about, the fruits. Different fruits are in season. If he knows the difference, yes and no, those types of questions. If he asks in the order of yes, no, yes, no, right? And you mix it up, then it would be okay. All right, we'll stop here at 2 dots. We will work on catching us up.
So you have to mix up the question.